Good morning, my favorite yogic travelers, my fellow yogic travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today and hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. All right, it's Friday, so it's PowerPoint Day for the new people out there. I used to do this at the Yoga Circle from AD5 to 2019. Presentation literacy, an image helps. All right, so the name of this particular presentation is called The Beauty and Rigors of Initiation. So this is the first thing I guess we want everybody to understand is that synthesis versus the unbroken whole. The putting together of parts or elements as to form a whole. Yoga is taught in 8 limbs, but they're not separate from one another. They're like branches of the same tree trunk. And whether or not we can think of synergistic influence of one branch to another, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. You can't divide it. Never was broken apart anyway. It was always an unbroken unity. So the next thing we want to learn is the screen is paused. Well, we got to stop and move to the next one. All right, so we'll try again. Now, the thing is action and being are one. And even though we're acknowledging the importance of sitting in silence, and whether you're taking the Buddha's way, think that you can meditate and get all the way there to your awakened nature, okay, fine. But it's no quietist fantasy. You're not supposed to withdraw from life. Action and being are one. So whatever time you spend in silence or meditation, it's going to be recycled back into how do you behave in your daily life? How do you bring what you get, your meditative calm and equanimity, back into your daily life? So, as it says in the Bharadyanaraka Upanishad, the self is that which has been described as not this or not that. It's the old question they asked, neti neti, I'm not this, I'm not that. Negate all the answers that your mind comes up with to try to tell you who you are. And if you can get rid of all of them, whatever you're left with, that's it. The traditional way is that people need to spend a colossal amount of time in seclusion in order to get this. I don't know if that's the path for most Westerners, for some Westerners for sure. But otherwise, just keep asking the question, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Like Nisarga Dr. Maharaj suggests, negate all answers, and then according to them, you'll experience it. Now, nothing appeases your inmost hunger as putting out the one with all your juice behind it. Michael Jordan represents that competitive spirit that even when you get it, it is so rewarding. But you got to work for it. It doesn't come easy. And there's a lot of other people that test your mettle and challenge you. And then you find out what you're really made of once you cut yourself open, you could say. Now we all travel into the 4 directions. In the east is the direction of the rising sun where you see far. And the south is the sun at its apogee, where everything grows and you see things up close. In the west is where you go to hibernate as the sun goes down, and you go into your own internal understanding. And then in the north is where you go to experience the unknown, where the ancestors beckon you to go. And then you learn the secret of the giveaway of abundance and being thankful for everything. Now it's interesting that the 4 suits of the playing cards were mimicking the 4 suits of the tarot, right? Where the clubs represent the earth, the spades represent the air of the sword, the hearts represent the cups of the heart, and the pentacles represent the diamonds of the earth energy. I'm sorry, the clubs or the wands represent the fire energy. So you here have another image of different directions of what to do with your energy. Your earth energy, your water energy, your fire energy, and your air energy. Look for it in your daily life and you'll see it all over. Jung had this idea of the four typologies of thinking, sensation, intuiting, and sensing. And that turned out for what I would call the archetypal neo-Jungians, the use of the king and queen, the wise man and the wise women, the male and female lovers and the male and female warriors. And you can see that the thinking is the wise one, and the feeling is the heart-filled one, and the intuition is the contemplative one, and the sensation is the action-oriented one. Based on what you perceive, then you make your choices. I love this idea from Abraham Lincoln. God must love the common people because he made so many of them. And sometimes we can think that we're not them, especially if we have potable water, refrigeration, fire at our fingertips, right? A shelter, food, education. And yet in some way, we're one with these people, even though we may not feel it because we don't live with them or geographically removed from them, or maybe our white privilege doesn't make us as empathetic as we could be. But understand there must be a reason why there's so many of us there. And then I would suggest that you open your heart into the real bhakti, which is not a dreamy sentimentalism, but as you do in the Krishna story. Right? God's going to come to you in the form that most appeals to you. Doesn't have to be compared to anybody else. The vision you get is vouchsafed to you. So make the most of it. Don't deny it. It's the way Spirit is trying to come into your life. Now, I always say enlightenment is like a pole star. Above the equator, you can use it as a fixed point in the sky. Millions of navigators throughout history have attested to its functional and practical effectiveness as using a way to triangulate and get where you want to go. But south of the border, south of the equator, you can't even see Polaris. So it's not absolutely true north. But for our purposes, it'll work. So the word enlightenment, again, the same thing. It's like a magnet that draws all the iron filings of your life together and constellates a new perspective, a breakthrough vision, an enlightening perspective, you could say. And then when you learn that, your whole ethical life changes. Or it's like to say, the Buddha is a master of putting the reptilian brain on a leash. Learn to control your instinctive natures, and then it's going to serve you by giving you insight, direct communication to what your inner self is telling you is really going on. And then in the end, I love this quote, if conservatives don't want to be seen as bitter people who cling to their guns and religion and anti-immigrant sentiments, they should stop being bitter and clinging to their guns, religion, and anti-immigrant statements. Thanks, Bill, for that one. So as the Buddhists would say in the end, doesn't matter what you don't cling to, just don't cling. Then you'll understand what the beauties and rigors of initiation is all about. So have a great day.